Hey y'all, my name is Sara and welcome to my channel. And man, I have been living out of this thing for a few years now, and I've also been on an endless pursuit of self-healing, mental clarity, and personal autonomy. Currently, I'm learning the power of story and how important it is, not just for our own lives, but also for sharing with others. Finding the narrative within our own journey asks for a bit of self-reflection, and one of the tools that I like to use within this practice is the language of the stars, or astrology. Here is where I really get to zoom out by tracking the correlations of my personal experience alongside the waves of the celestial planets. After all, the way I see astrology, it is just our own personal mythology and a way for us to connect deeper to the freedom to be who we really are. So, that being said, this is the chart that I'm going to be using, and I'll pick a handful of transits occurring and explore them a little deeper. I'll preface by saying I'm not fluent in this language, but I do enjoy being a student of the stars, and hopefully it'll encourage you to take a peek into your own story as well. I keep saying that this road trip north has been mainly to escape the southern heat. But on a deeper level, heading north means much more than just this. I have this rare opportunity to travel alone, with no influences over my travel plans. There is another level of discovery when you call the shots while traveling. I have been in the largest city in the state of Maine for a bit now, and as much as I love it in this port along the ocean, I do have to head inland toward a more remote area. After being alone on the road for a while, I actually have plans to meet my family as they're flying in, and it has been so long since we were all together. So it's time to hit the highway. As I zoom out, I remember I've been undergoing a longer transit of Uranus square to my natal Jupiter. Uranus is the ruler of the sky, planet of revelations and abrupt change. Jupiter is the ruler of the heavens and the planet of expansion, faith, and travel. The square between the two poses me with a creative challenge. Uranus, the disruptor, is coming in to shake things up within my world. It's true. Many times the moment I get settled, I begin to feel this sense of restlessness. For instance, just now in having to leave a place I just discovered I quite love. But it also comes with the territory of being a nomad. Having to move constantly because the weather, parking limits, or a sense of safety is all included in the package. But just like I'm moving my locations externally, I also feel a desire to change internally, to shake off the habits and mindsets of the past that no longer serve me and develop a sense of faith and connection with the ever-changing horizons. I'm traveling to a remote town, a place that I spent most of my youth, but haven't been back in many, many years. So while en route, I wanted to pop into a grocer to load up on some supplies. But look at this papaya. It is huge. It's like the size of my head. So I got 2 of those. I have a bunch of bananas, just some tomatoes, onion, garlic, limes, a bunch of little mangoes. I can gratefully say that this is a sign of abundance, and I will be sharing this with my family, so it's not just all going to me, but I'm just excited to look at it. It just brings me so much joy. After a while on the road, I finally made it, and it was so nice to see everyone once again. Being very much tucked away in the wilderness and not having any kind of cell service made it easy for us to get back into a simpler time. Playing on the lake, nightly fires, working on landscaping, and just getting back in touch were all the things we used to do in the past. While revisiting my roots and seeing the state of Maine now as an adult, it definitely brings back a flood of memories. Not much really has changed physically over the past decade. However, so much has changed within life in general. Around this time, there has been a Chiron trine to my natal sun. In astrology, Chiron is a comet that is known as the wounded healer, showing our deepest wounds and our greatest strengths. The sun is our central life force and our creative potential. The trine between the two is one of harmony as it links like energies. And in this case, both Chiron and the sun are in a fire element. So this transit speaks to all things fresh and lively. The energy has been feeling cleared and ready for a sense of understanding. My visit here has not only been a kind of mirror for all the experiences and growth I've undergone, both highlights and struggles, but also a mirror for what I expected life to be, and how it hasn't necessarily played out in that way. With Chiron interacting with my natal sun, I'm starting to have a clear understanding of things. At the end of the day, I'm learning to let go of expectations and value life for the way it is, both the lovely and dysfunctional times. So, after a couple weeks of an eventful and playful rendezvous, it was time for my family to head home, and for me to head on. After a trip to the airport and seeing everyone off, I'm left with a feeling of empty nest syndrome, and faced with the question, what's next? Finding a sense of normalcy in a nomadic lifestyle is not the easiest, but it is achievable. Personally, I've found that as long as I'm consistent in at least one thing, then multiple things may follow suit. And the one thing that helps me achieve this is moving my body. Just a little bit of physical exercise does wonders for me, whether that be hiking up a mountain to running on a treadmill. I do get into ruts, though, where I can be quite sedentary for weeks on end, but right now it's easier for me to not think and just do. Moving my body will not only help with making plans for what's next, but it will also help me with getting used to being alone again. I'm going into this week with a Mars trine to my natal Saturn. Mars is the god of war and planet of assertion. Saturn is the god of time and ruler of responsibilities. The trine between the two is one of harmony, as it links like energies. In this case, both Mars and Saturn are in earth elements. Mars is in Virgo and Saturn is in Capricorn. As my family leaves, it reopens the space to ground myself into a routine. So, as I continue on, I'm feeling the motivation to be disciplined in my work, exercise, and all the little things that create structure. So I just made some celery juice and just slowly drinking it in. So I've been hanging out in the middle of Maine for a little while in a city, and I've just been close to Planet Fitnesses and grocery stores and areas I can fill up water. Probably gonna go work a little bit. That's why I've also been here, so that I can have service to work. That is where I'm at right now. There are a number of people that are walking around through this town. It's cute. I like it. It's small, and I'm gonna check out the downtown space and maybe get a feel for what the culture is like in the local cafe. As I attempt to develop and hone into some progressive habits, I guess I'll end it here. As always, thank you so much for reflecting with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.